Good afternoon, everyone. News headlines: summer snowfall in Saudi Arabia. Area in the northwest up by the border with Jordan. We saw in January of this year, it snowed in Saudi Arabia in that exact same spot. And then in 2016 in the same spot. Is it really snow or is it hail? Talking about snows the next 3 days. Where you see color on the map, it's going to snow. I guess they're not going to talk about the Norway snows or the Iceland snows because it's still August and that wouldn't fit the global warming narrative. But how about these two typhoons combining over Hokkaido Island? And you just need to wonder, is it going to be more record snows because the all-time earliest record snowfall in August? And with the changing weather patterns around our world, you're going to have to start growing some of your own food because the crop losses that are showing right now are gargantuan. Take a look at what you think you can grow around your area. Also talk to local nursery owners or farming groups in your own local area. There's something you can grow for sure where you live. The Adapt 2030 link is below, trueleafmarket.com. Heirloom and organic seeds. I'm also up on BitChute now, so please join me over there. Subscribe as a backup channel. As Hurricane Lane pounds down on Hawaii, going to bring you out here to the Western Pacific. Typhoon Soulik and Chimeron are going to combine over Hokkaido Island over the next few days. This is what it was like yesterday, and we move forward. You can really see where those two cones combine. Also taking a look at the typhoon potential track, we'll see the same thing where these storms collapse in on themselves and roll right over Hokkaido Island. Now, why is that such a focal point? I understand Korea is going to get an enormous amount of rain, both North and South Korea. They need that for the agriculture. But the earliest all-time recorded snow in August, on August 17th, occurred on Hokkaido Island in Japan. They were saying because there was moisture and a cold front, well, here now we have two typhoons, the temperatures are going to drop, and there's a huge potential for even more record snows in these same areas. And speaking of early snows, let's jump out and take a look at the snow map over the next 3 days. Wherever you see color on there, it's going to be snowfall. Blues is least amount, teals is higher, yellows are getting up to the multi-foot range. Now you're told it's the all-time hottest Arctic ever with these new AP stories coming out just today. But how much blue do you see across the Arctic means it's snowing? I don't know how it's going to be all-time record heat with all that cold up there. Also another point of fact, they probably will not show you Iceland with the new snowfall, but you'll also notice right over in Norway, that's where they had record heat for 2 days during the first week of August. Now it's snowing, but you won't hear that in the media. But something really interesting that did catch my attention was this article off of SOT.net. Summer snowfall in Saudi Arabia, and then they link to the source. You can check out a few Twitter feeds as well. I'm really interested in this type of information to see, was it indeed snowfall or was it hail? August 19th, a few days ago, finally enough images are coming through the social media to confirm and verify what it was. Zoom in here close. It begins to look like hail right away, but I see these other headlines. Summer snow in Saudi Arabia. This comes off Middle East Eye. That's a news organization. So I thought, all right, it looks like hail on the road to me. I've seen a lot of hail in my life. And it's the same area up in the northwest border area with Jordan. And that name immediately jumped out at me as well as the location because we just need to trace back in history a little bit. Back in January of 2018, snow in the same area. That was the snow pictures with all the snow on the camels and people making snow camels, etc. in the backs of trucks. An enormous amount of images came out. Didn't really make that much news because it's not supposed to snow that deeply with record snows in Saudi Arabia like that. But then again, back in 2016, it snowed. This is off Electroverse. They have a full rundown of all the different snow events in Saudi Arabia, all 3 of them, all in the same area. So when the first recorded snowstorms start in 2016, and it's the beginning of the grand solar minimum, and people don't put 2 and 2 together, you know, for me, this whiteout on that photo looks more like a mix of snow and ice together, hail mixed with snow. But if you're coming from a place where it never ever snows, and it rarely hails, anything that's ice coming out of the sky or white falling out of the sky might be construed as snow. So when you're looking through the media reports, I watched several of the videos as well. What I saw was something interesting that I couldn't capture in the screen grab. When you're looking at these dark surfaces, you can see flakes falling more slowly than the heavy pieces of ice coming out of the sky. Now for me, that's really interesting because you're seeing two different sets of precipitation coming down. You can even hear the hail hitting surfaces of cars or whatever's there, plastic. Piece bounced off after a guy rolled down his window here, and you can see that's definitely hail. But like I said, in some of the other images, there's hail, but it also looks like there could be snow as well. I'm saying it's 99% hail, possibly 1% snow in this. But again, in the grand scheme of things, I guess that is snow in the Saudi Arabian desert in August, which doesn't fit the global warming narrative and why you didn't see this on any of your news feeds in the mainstream media. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Tri-weekly podcast, mini Ice Age conversations where I go more into depth on these same exact events and try to tie them all together with how it's going to affect your food pricing and your life in these next couple of years.